Oh my goodness. I cannot believe it. I finally have my channel back. It's been 5 months. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I just don't even know what to say. But I'm here today with a new layout for Paige Evans, and I thought that I would start this process video by showing you some of the layouts that I made over the last 5 months that I was not able to film because my channel was hacked. So enjoy these still shots here for a minute or so. Yeah, back in November, some crazy hacker person took over my channel. I couldn't log in, nothing would work, and the only way to get it resolved was to contact Google. And the only way to contact Google is through email. Cannot talk to an actual person. So I was emailing back and forth over the course of 5 months, and all they would tell me was that they were working on it, they were working on it, they were working on it. Well, finally they got back to me and said that everything looked legit. Then I had to go back in and delete about 5,000 spam videos that this hacker put on my channel. I mean, it was just random stuff that made zero sense, and it was in a foreign language that I could not understand. So I finally got all that done, and I think I'm back in order. I think this is going to be a success again. We will see. Yeah, so anyway, I wish I could have filmed all of these layouts that you're seeing here, but I used the Truly Grateful collection, and then I used the new Bloom Street collection for most of these. And my layout that I'm going to show you today, that we're going to make here in just a second, is for International Scrapbooking Day, which is today. And my challenge in the Paige Evans Happy Scrappy Place Facebook group is to incorporate some mixed media onto a layout. And so I'm going to show you what I made today using mixed media. So let's get into it. All right, here we go. I'm going to start this layout with the Bloom Street stamp set. I'm going to use that little sunshine. It's just been calling my name, and I'm going to use it to start out my page. I'm going to use Distress Oxides, which are my favorite stamp pads. They react with water beautifully. And I'm going to do a rainbow. Surprise, surprise. I've been on a rainbow kick lately. I love all these rainbow colors in the Bloom Street collection, and that's what inspired me. So we're going to go for it. Now I'm going to use smooth, thick white cardstock here, and I'm going to prep it with some clear gesso. This is going to allow the Distress Oxides to blend and react with water even better. The gesso is going to protect the cardstock and allow all of that blending to take place. So I love to use gesso. You probably knew that, but yeah, I love me some gesso. It's multi-functional, I think. Okay, so we're just going to go for it. I've picked out all my Distress Oxides that coordinate with the rainbow, and then I'm just going to stamp it down and watch what happens when you add just a little bit of water to it. I'm going to blend out the little sentiment in the middle and then just sort of add some water so it bleeds down, so it looks like the sun is sort of melting. And I'm going to create a horizontal design using all these different colors. And this is surprisingly very easy. I know a lot of people think that mixed media is challenging and hard to do, and it can be, but something like this is not hard. If you've got some cardstock and you've got some Distress Oxides or any other kind of stamping blocks or ink pads, then you could definitely try this. And the water does the work for you. It just, as soon as the water hits the Distress Oxide, it instantly starts to bleed, and it's really pretty when you do it the colors side by side like this and they kind of blend together. I love how these react with water. And while I'm making this background, I just want to say thank you to everybody that stuck with me. I know over the course of the last 5 months I was still able to upload to my other design teams that have YouTube channels, and so if you guys were watching some of my videos over there, thank you so much for hanging in there. I know I lost some subscribers right away when that hacker took over, because obviously it was crazy, and I know some of you were messaging me when you saw these videos being uploaded that clearly was I wasn't doing it. So a lot of people, you know, jump ship, which I would have too. So hopefully everyone that left will come back, because I definitely want to keep my channel going and continue to upload videos and, you know, show you my layouts. I want to get back to making videos of layouts using all of my older supplies, because, you know, let's face it, I've got way too many old supplies lying around. But yeah, just a big thank you for sticking in there with me and being so supportive and so sweet. And hopefully this will not happen again. I have got the 2-step verification process on there. Oh man, I never thought in a million years that a YouTube channel would get hacked, especially just a little old scrapbooker's channel, but it happened, and it took 5 months to get it resolved. So anything that requires you to log in a password, I highly recommend you putting on every safety precaution measure that you can, because this was a nightmare to get fixed. All right, so I'm just going to continue going across the page here. You can see how pretty this is, and it is pretty simple to do. All right, I've got all the colors. Look at that. I just love how that looks as is. Yeah, so pretty and so easy. All right, so I'm going to scrap a black and white picture of my little page, and I picked black and white because, you know, I just wanted all those rainbow colors to show, and I like how the black and white pops against all the colors, but then all the colors pop against the black and white, so everything stands out. So what I'm going to do is just play around with some of the Bloom Street embellishments. I've got a lot of the flowers and the leaves pulled out here, and some of this is going to be tone on tone, and then some of it I'm going to kind of mix around the page. Like, I want to do an arc of flowers and leaves on the left side of the photo there, where the purple and the pink flower is, because I've got a lot of open space in the photo there, so I have some room to overlap some things there. So I've got the 4-page sticker book here, which I've actually used quite a bit of, and I'm just looking for flowers, I'm looking for leaves, any kind of little something that has these colors and isn't too big. I didn't want giant embellishments because I didn't want to cover up, you know, I didn't want to cover up all that mixed media, because that's pretty much the star of the show, and I didn't want to, some of it's going to get covered up because I'm going to add little embellishments, but I didn't want something big like those giant pink flowers over to the left. I didn't want to cover up with something that big. So you can kind of see what I mean by tone on tone. I've got some pink things on the pink section, and then I've got some of that periwinkle purple over to the right. I'm going to look for yellow things, green things, orange. I found a couple of things in the ephemera die cuts that I'm going to use. I'm going to fussy cut these hearts and leave a border of the color around there. So I've got yellow, I've got light blue. I'm going to wind up fussy cutting that floral cluster out. So yeah, it's just playing around with small things here and seeing what looks good. I'm going to use this cute little bee, but I'm going to trim off that thick layer of white border around the edge. And he's going to go up top. And then I'm going to continue to embellish sort of down below where all the color is bleeding through. This paper, since I've already hacked into it for several layouts, I thought would be good to fussy cut some hearts, because all of the heart colors are in this paper. So I'm going to do that. And hearts are easy to fussy cut. They take seconds because it's a pretty simple shape. So I'm going to cut basically one of each color and scatter those around the page as well. This is Bloom Street paper number 6, and I'm sure you've seen it. It's I would say one of the most popular papers in this collection. It's just so gorgeous, and I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with my other copy of it, since this one is all cut up. But yeah, you can kind of see where I'm going with this. Just adding little bits and pieces here. I actually wind up fussy cutting lots of things from pattern paper for this page. So here comes more fussy cutting. This is one of the cut apart sheets, and I'm going to fussy cut out love and then these hearts. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a good iNSD day slash weekend. Yeah, my challenge is up on the Happy Scrappy Facebook group, and it's pretty simple. It's just to incorporate some mixed media onto your layout. You don't even have to use Bloom Street products. You can use stamps, you can use watercolors, you can use gelatos, acrylic paints, distress oxides, pretty much anything that is a little on the messy side. And there are a lot of ways to do mixed media that's not messy. So however you want to incorporate some mixed media onto your project, that is the challenge. And there are going to be 18 challenges going all day long, so there are going to be a ton of inspiration. All right, I took a break and I decided that I wanted to do some stitching. So I just kind of went crazy up in the top portion. I pulled out each of those colors of thread and then just did kind of like a wonky, wavy stitch with each color, just to make an interesting something on the background, because there's so much white going on. There's so much white at the top, a lot of white at the bottom. I wanted a little interest up at the top, but I didn't want to do any more mixed media. I didn't want to do any more watercolor. I didn't want it to smudge or take away from the line of those sunshines. So I thought that stitching in all those different colors would look really cool, and I like how that turned out. It just kind of looks like a bunch of butterflies were flying through, and that's their trails. And yeah, it adds color, it adds interest, it adds texture, which you know I love. And so that's going to be the top part, and I'm going to try to just add everything back in and try to figure out how I want to use this love. And it's so cute. It's got all the different colors in there, and I just cut it out and then use my little edge distresser to kind of ruffle up the edges so it had some more texture on it. And I did cut out those hearts, but I wind up not using those. And then I decided to play around with, you know, the title. Do I want it to be just love, or do I want to add more words? I wasn't sure. So I just kind of left that area alone and then went to working on my thread. And I try to do tone on tone here with the thread. So I add some yellow right there above the yellow section behind those flowers. And then, oh yeah, I guess I got distracted and started to add adhesive foam. Sometimes when I make layouts, I just do things in the most random order, and I don't realize I'm doing it until I'm filming the video, or I'm voicing over the video. Anyway, I'm coming back in with more thread later. Okay, so I do want to make a cluster down here at the bottom, and I just showed you some papers that I fussy cut more flowers and leaves from. And oh yeah, here's more thread. This is what I thought I did earlier. It's the teal color. It's going to go right there on the teal section. But yeah, I'm on the love part where the title is. I wanted to add something else down there. So I'm going to just pull in some more leaves and flowers and then start to glue things down. I did add some adhesive foam behind all the little loose hearts and all the flowers, because this is going to just create some dimension and some shadowing and just make it look like it's going to pop right off the page. And if I forget to mention it, I'm using Scotch tacky glue, and I put that in my fine liner bottle. I've had that fine liner bottle for ages, and it's worked great with the Scotch tacky glue. And you can actually find the Scotch tacky glue at Walmart. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon, but I used to only get it at Michael's, and well, I haven't been to Walmart in forever, it seems, lately, but they do carry it. All right, so I want to continue that arc of the leaves and the flowers over the photo, so I add in another big orangey yellow flower, and then this little piece that I cut out that says Everyday Magic. It's a light rainbow color with a white background. So I'm going to add that to the top and then ruffle up the edges of these flowers. I'm just trying to curl them up a little bit so they look a little bit more dimensional, and the leaves as well. And then we're going to go back and work on the title. So I know I want the main word to be love. I'm just not sure what else I'm going to add to it. So in the meantime, I'm going to add more adhesive foam. When I get distracted, or not distracted, but when I hit a roadblock and I can't think of, you know, a title, or I can't think of what to do next, I just move on to another something or other that needs to be done. And I knew I wanted to pop it up. So I went ahead and did that, bring it back, and then start to work on where I'm going to put all these little flowers. I'm going to put that little orange one right on top of the O. And I like the pop of orange that gives right there. And then I've got a darker pink flower and a lighter pink flower that I'm going to layer underneath the O. Oh my gosh, did I really pull out my ruler to make sure that was straight? I did, didn't I? For someone who likes things so crooked and wonky, I'm a stickler for measuring things that I want super straight, because it's never straight. It's always downhill. So yeah, I'm OCD when it comes to that kind of thing. It's so weird. I'm a weird scrapper. Do you have weird quirks like that? It's just how I do it, I guess. And sometimes I don't realize I'm doing it, like I said, until I'm watching myself do this. And then I'm thinking, you're nuts, girl. Why do you do that? Anyway, I'm gluing that whole little cluster down. I did add some more yellow thread because I felt like it needed some yellow. And I wanted to use this ampersand. I like the pop of pink, but I could not, for the life of me, figure out where to put another word for a title. Because if I have an and, then I have to have something after the and, right? Love and something. But I couldn't find the something. So the ampersand's going to go, even though I love how it looks. But I did play around. I gave it a fair shake. I gave it a fair chance. But I am going to wind up saving it for another page. All right, so we're just going to go with Love, Happy, Sunshine, and that's going to be it, because at this point, I was tired of trying to come up with a title, and I wanted to use stickers that were there. I didn't want to try to come up with my own, and I wanted something smaller than the Love, and I like how the Happy is basically kind of yellow into pink with the white letters, and then Sunshine is white with some green and yellow letters, and it's different fonts. I like to mix and match fonts. Now, I haven't used these yet from Bloom Street. These are part of the embellishment pack, and they're a pack of little, there's sequins. There's purple flowers and little pink flowers, and then leaves. And yeah, that one wasn't sticking, so I'm using my heavy water to hold it down for a second. But yeah, I'm just going to glue in a couple of these down here and there. Little teeny tiny things. And then there's also a set of adhesive bling in there, like little rhinestones, and I hadn't used those yet either, so I'm going to pull those out here in just a second and add some of those in. There they are. I'm going to use just the colors that I have here on the paper. I'm going to use the pink one, a yellow one, and a blue one, and then the rest of them are going to be clear. And I'm actually going to use a couple of them on the centers of those little sequin flowers. So these make the perfect little toppers for flowers. Okay, we're almost done here. Almost done. I'm going to add in some journaling, and I'm going to use a black fine tip Sharpie for that. And I felt like the black was okay since my photo is black and white, kind of pulls in some of the darker blacks and grays. And then the last thing I'm going to do, I decided to add in some more teeny tiny butterflies, and this is from one of the washi tape rolls from Bloom Street. I'm just going to stick it to some scrap white cardstock and then fussy cut some of these little butterflies out and lay them on the tone-on-tone thing here. So I'm going to put a blue one on the blue section and a green one on the green section, and so on and so forth. And these are just so cute. They're so little and tiny. And that's another way to use washi tape. You don't have to stick it directly to your background. You can also fussy cut from it. So anyway, that's the final layout. I love how this turned out. I hope it inspires you. Feels so good to be making a video on my own channel again. And I hope that this continues. I hope you'll stay tuned and continue to be inspired and get some ideas for your own projects. And I hope you'll take part in the iNSD challenges over at Happy Scrappy Place. You will be having a new challenge come up every hour on the hour up until midnight. So that is crazy. That is a lot of inspiration and chances to have fun. And yeah, There's prizes to be given away. There's going to be free cut files that Paige is going to make and give away all throughout the day. So definitely play along with us, and I hope you win some things. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you over on the message board. So thank you again for everything, and I will see you again very soon.